departed from its original source. Where we tap the anointing, gospel never departed from it. So any gospel artist that you see possibly came from a band, possibly came from a church, and the church has got a setting of playing, and so the tradition has been sustained over time. And so even if you are from far away, and if you look at it, we weave ourselves into all the various aspects of Highlife rhythms we have in Ghana. The gospel have gone through the typical Gamashi, you saw Professor Ponyani on Tonko, now the typical Gome, we've added the Gome and ensemble, and even the Bobobo, the one I created, the African Bobobo. Typically, the Bobobo that you see our people playing here, they don't add, there's no bass guitar, and as well as also they don't do keyboard, and then certain few music fields or whatever. But in the case of my art, the one I created for Professor African Bobobo, what I did was that I got a Bobobo group typical from Accra Newtown, the pig farm. And then I drove all of them with their ensembles to the studio at Kwashima, myself and Shah. And we played all the things that is here, everything that they are having here. We played everything live in the studio and we recorded. Then after we recorded, I called Dangra, I called Mr. Unsaid too, and then all the guys for them to also come and add their horns and everything. So if you listen to Kwesi Bobo, you could see that you have the traditional one from Volta region in there, and then you also have the contemporary one which is also outside there, together as one. That's how come I name it African Bobo, because it's something that came out of personal inspiration that I created. You understand? But unlike our brother Highlife, the thing, even if they are like that I have mentioned, even when they are singing the thing, they feel like the rhythm has, actually, the respect for the Highlife music itself by the Highlife practitioners is lacking some kind of strength and leverage from the practitioners themselves. So even if when you meet a typical person, you will take a few, Kwaisey Pee, and a few other people who will tell you that I'm a Highlife artist. But the rest, when you meet them, you ask them, what genre of music do you do? The person say, oh, I'm an Afrobeats artist. My daughter, when she will tell you, I was Afro pop, something. I said, where is your popcorn coming from? So basically, it is coming from ownership perspective point of view. Like the way the gospel people have dominated it. If you look at, even when we do reggae, we try as much. So if you listen to the gospel reggae, you will see that typically gospel reggae has got some element of Highlife that is going through. We try, whatever we do, we try and come back to that concern and then get some guitar fills in there. You see the bass line and then the kick, giving some kind of waves and attention to it. So we are intentional about some of the creations. And then sustainability. Most of the people who are in the studios producing gospel tunes, like myself, I do sessions a lot because of the experience I have with music. I do sessions. Most of the time, when anybody is recording the studio, I will be in the studio, we are actually working, I will go to Kewa Tema, and then we are creating the beats. I'm part of the beat creation. When you play the thing, I will tell you, come back to this one. This one, choose this rhythm. So the production, even in the studios, even the person is not my artist, we try as much as possible to go back to the original rhythm so that the artist can actually get the feel and sustain the rhythm. But here, our Highlife artists, they are doing their individual stuff. The people doesn't want anybody to come closer when they are recording. They feel like they've gotten something they need to protect. I don't know what they are protecting. You understand? So me, I think that it's also, and you were asking why our top Highlife people are not recording. It's all about financial distance. Music has gone very expensive. And when our fathers grow, because of health and livelihood, they try to survive the little that they have because our royalty system here. It doesn't go like the way you people have it in Amsterdam. That, it comes in boom boom. Here, it comes in wawa. So, so it's something that we need to just look at it and then see, create some fun to allow some of them also have the energy. They have the songs. Bessa here, he's always writing, composing. They are all composers. They have this. Kwesi is always composing. But the funding, it will take you over 120,000 Ghana to 200,000 to just record a single album on Highlife. Ask yourself, how many of our elders have that 150,000, 200,000 sitting down to come and record that kind of thing? So, for that reason, they will prefer their touring, get the small money they are getting in the performances, and then enjoy their livelihood, and then allow the little children to do what they are doing. That's how come you see this kind of disparity between the distance. So there's nothing like consistency. Unlike the Europe, the Holland, there's a fund. I was in Canada. If you want to be an artist, there's a fund you need to access. You fill a form, and then government, the Ontario government will give you a fund so that you can even use it to produce video and record. Without even if your parent doesn't have money, you can become an artist. But in this GH, if your parent doesn't have money,
put your hands together for it.
I just want to add a little bit to what Kwesi said. You see, singing like what you are not, singing like a foreigner will not add anything to your, anything to the music you want to make. Like we've been pushing for the government to put in more incentive for people who do Ghanaian music, especially Highlife. And I think the government is listening to us. Because what it is you can go to any country and they will not allow you to come from your country and push your music higher than theirs. I was in the UK. If you do like Beatles pop or Rolling Stone pop, there is so many incentives for you, which encourages you to do more. They will not allow you to come and beat them with your Highlife. So we've spoken to the Creative Arts Ministry, and they are listening to us. Quite recently, they've given us a seed money, which means we know from next year going, if you want to do Ghanaian music, there will be a lot of support for you. So far as you put in a proper case, they will support you. And also, I think the media houses will have to create some kind of programs that will play Ghanaian music, that will play more Highlife. If a young guy is doing Highlife, we have to push him to the top. And then the bloggers will also have to come in and support the Ghanaian musicians more than they're doing now. So there is hope. There is hope.
Uncle, please tell us, you mentioned about a fund that might be able to be, musicians can be accessed. This thing is streaming. Where is the fund? How can we access it?
Okay, so the Ministry for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts they started working on this long time ago, and I think it's going to be directed by the Creative Arts Agency. And so the government has sowed a seed, it's a fund thing, so that once they start, giving it out to Ghanaian musicians to do what they do best, you will have to apply for it. And I think next year they're going to add some more money,
Okay.
and then this is going to happen.
Good. Okay, let me call the media people. KMG. Yes, and Adam. KMG, Adam, and then our sister. Yeah, I want to ask you questions. Today I have you people here, so. Oh, KMJ. KMJ, come. No,
today I'm not.
yeah, KMJ. Please give the microphone to him there. You see, there is the people that do what we call Africo. Africo music is when we mix that traditional African music with or Highlife. Most of those people, they feel kind of like shy or afraid to approach the media houses. Because even me, in the beginning, I had that problem. I felt like you guys were not interested. Until I got into the thing, and I realized that most of the presenters were even listening to my music before I even went into their program. Or they like good music. They will show you evidence of the good music they listen to on their phones. But when they are doing the programs or they are arranging their stations, you don't hear all this. All of you know all the people that are traveling and touring with Highlife, but Ghanaians don't hear it. What are we doing wrong, and what are you doing wrong?
I think that I always tell people this. I mean, the world is a very competitive world. Everybody is competing for attention. When you go on social media, every content is competing for attention. So, the thing is, how do I strike through to get this attention? And that is where the issue of PR comes in. And when you talk about PR, we have three forms of media when it comes to PR. There is the owned media. When we say owned media in PR, owned media is your personal platform. So at first, if someone wants information, they go on your own media. Now, at times, when you are able to be creative with content on your own media, you are able to get what we call earned media. That is why somebody will do a skit and it goes viral. That is earned media, a media the end. Then you support that at times what we call the paid media, where you intentionally pay people to protect a certain thing for you. So if you're a brand, you're a product, you ask yourself, how many of these forms of media are you using to get your product out there? Now, if you check and you see that you are not consistent, you are not intentional, you are not being strategic with all these three forms of media, then it means you are losing out on the public. So you need to be very intentional. That is why the first gentleman of the land, that's what I tell artists, the first gentleman of the land, who has everybody's attention, he has communication, the person who speaks for the president. There is what we call presidential press corps, a team of media with big information from them. Then they are also supported by their party's communication. That powerful gentleman of the land, look at what he has surrounded himself with, and check on their platform, social media. Every day they are posting on their own platform. So it needs more intentionality, it needs more creativity to be able to drive the narrative through. Because if it doesn't strike somebody, they won't pay attention to you.
Thank you. Wait, I'm not done with you. You know, so what you said is actually brilliant. I love it, and I've learned from it. There's this question that it begs. I've spoken to a lot of them. They call me, and it's like they are afraid to approach it because of the prices that you mentioned. Could it be? Can it be that if somebody is doing an authentic Highlife music, maybe you bloggers that are here, you will take them maybe half of what you take the normal people, so that like we have to have a national consciousness about our own music. Are these some of the things that we can do? What are some of the things that we can do? Because when we come, the amounts that are mentioned, most of the artists don't have it.
Yeah.
This one here, I will not let my brother talk to you. The thing is that, for me, I always believe in talent. You should be able to do something that will get my attention. There is nothing like you paying me to do my work for you. I don't have like, I don't owe you, you don't owe me. But once you have a talent, which I believe lots of people do, if you reach out to me, I don't see why I should put you on, and I don't see why I should help promote whatever you have. If you meet any media person and they say, pay me before I do that, it's because maybe they are doing their own thing. It's like, yeah, it's their own business, and they're telling me that maybe I've also built my business, so you come and pay me to do that. But please, nobody takes money to promote somebody. Yes, with DJs, when it comes to DJs, it's different. I cannot speak for DJs because, of course, some of of them work in the club, some of them work in the pubs, a few ones who work in the radio station. Of course, if you also want them to do the work for you by constantly playing your music, some are paid, some are not being paid. Those who are paid, yes, is different. Those who are not being paid is different. By the end of the day, even if you pay them, even as humans, sometimes when you want somebody to do something for you, you want to give them something to be able to encourage them to do it for you. So it's not like they should not be scared. Even when we start life, we're shy. We all behave a certain. Recently, I had to interview someone. It was so hard to interview the person because he couldn't express himself. He didn't have a story to tell. He couldn't even tell me about his music. Why are you with me? Why did you come for the interview? But he wants to come for an interview. We spoke in the end. What did he get? I don't know. Me, I don't know what I did. We all went our separate ways. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's not like nobody wants to help you. You need to be ready. And most of them are not ready. You cannot do 1 or 2 songs and expect that when I'm speaking to Barima on my radio show, when we are talking about when he started music and how far he has come, you do 2 songs and you come and sit on my platform and you want to tell me about the 2 songs. How does that work? You have nothing to share. You should be able to work hard to get that so that we can do. Some are lucky with just 1 or 2 songs, they hit. And with just that 1 or 2 songs, they have probably worked so hard to get there. But if you are just somebody who is coming up and you are releasing songs, and even they are telling you that the songs you are producing or what you are doing is not good enough, you say, hey, they don't like me, they don't want me to go. I mean, it doesn't work like that.
And very much, there is something we call media relations. It's part of PR. Now, whatever job you are doing, there is something you need to do. If you don't do right, you get it wrong. You need to do your audience analysis, what we call the stakeholder. You need to understand who your stakeholders are in the business you are doing. Now, as a musician, media is one of your key stakeholders, the audience, but you need the media to get to the audience. So what you have to do in stakeholder relations, you build relationship with the media. So if you cannot do, you can find somebody who is in the media to be able to do your media relations for you so that they can easily get into it. When you go to big brands, corporate brands, they have people whose role is you are PR, you are this. But at times, artists want to do everything and it becomes difficult for them. So if you get somebody who is in the media, and the person does the media relations for you, they can easily reach out to their colleagues to put you on. So know the work you are doing, know your stakeholders, and build the relations. Get people to support you, and you will get some of these things with ease.
Thank you. I want to ask you a question.
That is,
no, speak. It's coming.
So that is why there's International Fest. Secondly, next year we'll do another workshop. We'll do another International Fest.
I want to ask you a question. You see, the questions are plenty, but this is the last one. You see, the sports people, when they are talking about the sport, they don't only talk about the people that are playing locally. They talk about the people that are playing internationally. So why is it that when you guys on the radio, you don't talk about the people that are also, because Bessa can be in London doing a show, nobody will talk about it. And
do you know why?
So
the bands who are touring,
you see,
you know,
it is true.
Before you even come in with a fact that we've been talking about it, these foreign teams you are talking about, go check their socials, go check their website. They have been using what I call own media. They are using their platform to share the information. The information the sports media is talking about is not in the vacuum. They have created it on their platform. So it makes it easy for you to research. But you go on the program, you don't share information with everybody. Those who share get publications. Oh, those who share.
I think it's a different thing. That one, there's a missing link.
It's not true.
And then
no, with all due respect.
Why is it that?
Let me tell you why.
No.
Okay. I have personally called artists who are on tour in different places that a show that was called Showbiz Now. What artists did I not interview on that show? On Troy Prime? Even those who were out on tours. And when you call them, we want to have you on an interview on this show. They will tell you, yes, we do it. When it's time for the interview, we call them, they are not available. I am not saying all of them, but there are some of them, I can mention names, and I'm talking about top artists, that I can mention their names here. And they are disappointed badly.
Did you call Amachiri?
Amachiri.
Yeah,
You know the way I mentioned Amachiri. You and I know you use the Amachiri right now. That's not yes.
Okay, okay, just a short one.
I have personally been spoken to what do you call it? Yes, when he was his son knows this very well. That I've interviewed him when he was on tour. You get it? That's what I'm saying. It's not all of them, but even the young ones who are even doing the highlight thing, they are not available. You understand? So let's look at it from both perspectives, and then not make it look like, oh, yes, we can do better. But what I'm saying is, some of you are not available.
Okay, I hear you. My point is, there is a missing link. Music, it's just like football. They have people who scout. Before I left this country, and I'm back now, and Carl Bannerman said they made stars. They see this guy's got talent, and then they focus intentionally and make them a star. And by those days, we had sponsors. We have people like the Kwesi Ernest. They were the labels. So they will do all the groundworks. We don't have that now. So I think now that we have the Adams who know the terrain, you can see an artist with a talent, but he has shortfalls. You know his weaknesses, you know his strength. You can pick this guy and make noise. In Ghana, I can count our stars. If you talk A-list, they're not more than 4. You know, and it's not good. So all we are saying is help us to help the young ones who don't know this terrain. Bring them up and also make programs. You know, this day, okay, we're doing the Young Highlife Artist program from 12 to 6. Then let them do the thing, make it, you know how to make it exciting. This is all we are asking.
Okay, so we'll take
And Kwesi, the next time you go on tour, let us know you are going on tour.
Kwaisey Pee, and then we can, Kwesi wants to say something.
Thank you, guys.
No, I think they've said it all, so it's okay.
All right, thank you so much. And please, you have to all come back. Kwesi, please come back here. Uncle Bessa, please.